Hello and welcome to another tutorial by Happy Cloud Solutions. We are continuing with our DevOps project series and we are currently on episode 3. Today we'll be looking at testing with Selenium. Our test case today will be using the Gmail, that's the Gmail profile. So what we'll be doing is going to that page, finding an element using its identifier, using the send keys method to impute a particular data to that element that we have found. We would also get the title of the page, and then we'll write conditional statements to print a particular message when something happens. So all these are going to be done using a script written in Java. So just to refresh our memory, we've been looking at the whole DevOps tool, okay? The tools that are basically used to achieve a DevOps project. So in the past videos, we've looked at Jira, we've looked at Git, we've looked at Gradle. So today we are looking at Selenium. So you could probably ask, what is Selenium? In layman terms, Selenium is an open source tool that is used to perform automated testing for your environment. And this tool is usually used in an environment where CI/CD is, accepted or adopted. Now, Selenium can be used in conjunction with different programming languages, but the core ones are Python, C#, JavaScript, Ruby, and Java. And today we'll be using Java for our test. So now, what do you need to know about Selenium? Some key things to know is that it works well with all non-operating systems, Mac, Windows, so on and so forth. It is open source, hence it is free. With the appropriate driver, you can perform tests on any web browser. What do I mean by that? If you want to perform tests on Chrome, you use a Chrome driver. If you want to perform tests on Firefox, you use the Gecko driver. Also, it supports multiple programming languages, just as we have seen in the previous slide. Also, to follow along in this tutorial, you have to have various things installed on your system. So you have to have Java, you have to have downloaded a Chrome driver, you have to have downloaded Selenium for Java, and you have to have Eclipse downloaded and installed on your system. So, like I said, Selenium can be used in various programming languages. So I'm going to put a link, right? And in that link, it shows us where to download Selenium for Java. There's Selenium for Ruby, for C#, but then it is required that you select the one just for Java. And all the link is provided in the comment section. So let's get to the demonstration. So this is what I meant by when you come to the Selenium downloads page, all right, you locate Selenium client and WebDriver language bindings, and then you click on this one to download Selenium for Java, all right? So I have downloaded mine, and I have it here in this folder. So when you download it, it's going to download as a zip file. What I want you to do is extract it into its own folder and then just identify where that folder is. You're going to see why right now. Another thing that I said we would need is the Chrome driver, okay? So when you also download the Chrome driver, it's going to come as a zip file. Extract it, and this is what you're going to have in your zip file. Also, just leave this open and take note of it. Now, what we're going to do is go to Eclipse. Remember I said Eclipse is also a prerequisite for this tutorial. So open Eclipse, okay? And on opening Eclipse, it's going to ask you for the workspace. So workspace is basically a folder where all your projects are going to be saved. So I'm just going to leave the current workspace and click on Launch. All right. So now it's launching my Eclipse IDE for me. All right. So now, when you open Eclipse for the first time, if you don't have any project in your workspace, this is how your view is going to look like. So now what we want to do is we want to create a Java project. And we're going to call this Java project Selenium tutorial. And I'll just click finish. Hello viewers, my name is Kachi. This is a short break just to urge and ask you to like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. This channel is used to bring educative videos that are relevant in the information technology world. We bring videos on web development, cloud computing, DevOps, and even artificial intelligence, AI. But the videos are not just limited to that. We also provide videos as they are relevant to the community. We ask that you support us through your likes and subscription. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you as part of our subscribers. Now, let's get back to business. All right. So currently, this is what we have. Our source file, this is what we create our package. The JRE system library, that's for Java. Moving forward, let's create let's upload our jar files. Okay, so configure build part, select class path, then click on add external jars. So now this is where the Selenium for Java download comes in. So go to the folder where you downloaded the Selenium for Javas, copy the whole jar files, just like I'm doing. Click on open, then click on apply. So now you see the reference libraries has appeared here. We're not yet done. Click on class path again. Click add external jars. Click on lib. Just select all and open. And then click on apply and close. All right, so now you have your reference libraries. You have all the jar files that we just imported from the downloads. That's the Selenium for Java downloads. So now what next? We'll be creating a package. Let's create a package where we're going to create our class file in it. So let's call this Selenium test. Finish. Okay. So now inside this package, we want to create a class. Let's call it demo. And click on this. Finish. So now we are going to walk through writing this test script together, so you have an understanding of what is written here and why. All right. So whenever you start, when you're working with Selenium, you first of all have to state the driver, that's the web driver that you're working with. And in this case, remember, I said we'll be working with Chrome. So I'm going to call the Chrome WebDriver, okay? So system.set property. Okay, you can just select this one here. So WebDriver.Chrome.driver. So depending on the browser that you're using, you might, if it's Firefox, it won't be Chrome, it will be different. Okay, it's going to be your Gecko driver. But right now, what we're going to do here is to put the location for the Chrome driver. Remember I said you should take it into consideration where you downloaded your Chrome driver. So now I'm just going to right click and say copy as path. Go back and paste. Okay. So I'm just going to delete this a bit. Okay. So just making sure that my path is written right. Okay. All right. So now the next thing we want to do is, let's go back here. The next thing we want to do is to create a constructor to initialize a reference variable with an object. So WebDriver, driver is equals to new Chrome driver. And then next thing, we are going to tell this command to get the Gmail page. And the command to do that is driver.get https www.gmail.com. All right. As you can see right now, there's this line here. Okay, so there's this red line here, and it's basically saying that we need to import, the right Selenium package or the right Selenium dependency to this our file. Okay, so what we'll just do is hover over it, click on import, and then voila, the red line is gone. So now, continuing, we want to do driver.get, and then the next thing we want to do is also to expand the window. So when the page pops up, we want the window to expand because it's going to pop up in a kind of minimized window format. So let's do driver.manage the window dot maximize. Okay. So now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to find a web element on this Gmail page. And basically, a web element is anything on a web page. So for example, let me open Gmail in incognito. So let's do this. gmail.com, and I'll click on signing. So right now, I want to get this element. So I have to look for more like the identifier. So I'll just scroll down, inspect, and I'm going to see the identifier ID. This is the name, okay? So just take note of that. Go back to Eclipse, and I'll write driver.findElement. I would just use what's here. So by ID. And now, what is the name of the ID? How do you identify it? And from what I just showed, it says that the ID is identified by identifier ID. Okay, just checking that I got this way it's written right. Identifier ID. Okay. So now, when we get this identifier ID, what do we want to do? We want to send keys. What does this mean? It means we want to impute a particular character or particular data into that field. And I basically want to impute the email address, which is harpycloudsolutions gmail.com. All right. So now the next thing we want to do is we want to create a string variable. Okay. This command will basically look for the title of the page that we're accessing at the moment, or that we're trying to access, which is the Gmail page. So I'm just going to call it string. I'll just give it name page is equals to driver.get title. Okay. And what am I expecting? I'm expecting for it to be named Gmail. Okay. Now, I also want to write a command or a line of code to ensure that when this is done, the browser closes. Okay. So now the next thing, let's create a condition that accepts all cases and prints the result. So I'll say if page dot equals, I'll use this, ignore case, expect page. Then I want you to print out or output that test is successful. Okay, test is successful. All right, so, or else print that test is not successful. Is not successful. Now we are going to run our test. Run as Java application. So the screen pops up, it maximizes, and it puts the stuff and closes. But that was too fast, right? So let's do something. Let's make it slower. Thread.sleep. So I'm going to say let it sleep for 2000 milliseconds so we can actually see what is going on. Save and run as Java application. So it pops up, it maximizes, it imputes, then it closes. So it also records that test is successful down here. So I guess that was clearer. If you notice, the first thing it did was to get this web page for us, then it maximized our window, it found this element, and then it imputed this email address, then it got the title for us, which is Gmail, and as you can see, because it got the actual title we were asking for, because you said if this is successful, then print test is successful. It printed here that test is successful. All right. I believe that at the end of this tutorial, you have now been able to write and run your own test case for Gmail using Selenium. To learn more about Selenium or other DevOps tools, you can always reach out to us via the Contact Us form on our website. The link is provided below. Or you can also send us an email at hcstutors@happycloudsolutions.com. Please support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Thank you and see you in the next episode.